Hello, welcome to this retrospective review of Iron Man in the lead up to Infinity War. Should we call it the road to Infinity War? That's what So I've got Jacob with me, from my friends from Nerds of the Verse, and also my co-host on Star Trek Discovery. So
Aye,
aye,
that is me indeed.
yep, that's him. So I rewatched Iron Man, the first one today, and it's actually surprising. This is like 10 years old now.
No.
Yeah, it came out April 14th, 2008.
Oh, Jesus. That just made me feel old.
Yeah, and the US one was 2nd of May, 2008. And it is like surprising, when I went back and watched it again, how good this film is and how good all the performances are. Like Robert Downey Jr. is fantastic in it, and so is Jeff Bridges as the villain. I think actually looking back on it, Jeff Bridges as the villain in the first Iron Man is actually surprisingly probably one of the better villains.
Yeah, it was a pretty good villain role, but I think he'd have been it'd have been. I don't know. Part of me thinks it would have been interesting if he, stayed in like his advisory role and was sort of like an overarching background villain that you didn't know was the villain for a while.
Oh yeah, but there are parts
for a few films.
Yeah, but I noticed that when I was rewatching Iron Man,
Yeah.
there were a lot of connections with the Ten Rings, which is like a Mandarin organization, which they must have scrapped that part for that part of that Iron Man 3. So I'm guessing.
I know.
So which is like.
The whole Mandarin thing is my least favourite part of Iron Man 3, but Iron Man 3 is still my favourite of the three, even though it ruined one of my favourite Iron Man villains.
Well, we'll probably talk about more of the Iron Man 3 stuff in a few weeks, but obviously, Terrence Howard was Rhodey in this film, and then he's also replaced in the subsequent films.
I'm not too annoyed with that. I thought his performance was a little lackluster in the first Iron Man film.
But I think it's almost funny because I think he wanted more money or some sort of contractual problems, and then since there's like Don Cheadle's taken over.
Well, basically, they weren't that happy with his performance in the first film, so they cut his character basically entirely out of the second film. So he was like, I'm out. And then apparently within like the hour, they got the new actor in.
But I was also thinking with this film as well, it does feel as if Robert Downey Jr.'s character arc is mostly complete, because since this first one, he hasn't changed too much all the way through the Avengers films. Because
I don't know. He has a great character arc in the third film, the third Iron Man film.
No, but I think this film is like the biggest change out of all the films in the entire MCU.
Yeah.
For him.
It was. It was his origin story, so it kind of had to be.
Yeah, but I was looking. There's also some things I noticed. He's in the beginning of the film. When he's attacked by the terrorists. 10 rings, that sort of thing. Before then, he's talking. They got like little flip phones, and it's like so different from like 10 years ago. And say, "Oh, don't put this on my MySpace." And I was like these little things you notice, 10 years later, like, oh yeah, that was a thing 10 years ago.
The other thing is though, in America they still have flip phones and stuff.
Yeah, but it's proper flip phone with like the foam. I think it must have like turned.
I want that phone he has in Iron Man 1.
The one
where it like turns sideways. There's got a keyboard underneath it. I want that phone. That looks like a great phone.
Yeah, it was a bit. I was like just looking back, and it's like, oh, this is like very different to what. Just amazing. 10 years ago, 10 years the MCU started, and 10 years ago we didn't really have smartphones at all. Just like
we had sort of smartphones.
Yeah, but it was like right to the very beginning.
Yeah. But they're all like the size of bricks, pretty much.
Oh yeah. But we also had the start of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. With,
it was
Coulson's first appearance.
They played the whole Like you can tell from like the first film, they were planning the Avengers.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, 'cause obviously there
Because
was what do we call strategic homeland, etc.
yeah,
Throughout the entire
and by the end
film.
of the film, it's like, oh, just call this Shield.
Yeah, because I didn't think, I thought, probably at the time, I thought it was a more funny thing. But perhaps 10 years later, it's like, alright, after 2 or 3 times, it's like, oh, what should we call this organization? So perhaps it's not. But then again, these are things happen after you notice these things 10 years later. But do you know the scene where he's escaping, where he gets his first get his Mark III suit, and he goes off to Afghanistan to blow up the weapon supplies.
Yeah.
And when that sequence, and when he's flying away in the jets.
Yeah.
I just remember just how fantastic it was, and also the music in this, obviously all the AC/DC tracks that come in.
I always love the Iron Man soundtracks. The Iron Man soundtracks are so good.
Yeah, we probably won't put any AC/DC over this because we don't want to get copyright strikes or anything like that. Just avoid that. Just play it in your own head if you're. That's probably the safe way.
Like, that's one thing, because I haven't seen it in a while. Do you think the CG stands up like now?
Yeah, I think it's still pretty good because a lot of it's pretty minimal. There's obviously little bits when he's changing into his suit, but to be fair, I would say it was still pretty good. It's quite surprising 10 years later. I think sometimes with CGI, if it's quite minimal, it's better in this sort of film because he's like traveling from places. It's just the suit which is like CGI. Everything else is okay.
Yeah, there was a surprising amount of practical effects in this.
Because they actually used metal. They actually created metal versions of the suit.
Yeah.
So
you can tell that in some of the scenes.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you see it in the background and stuff, or when you see some of the poses it's in. You can tell nobody's in it, but it looks pretty.
Oh yeah, well, yes, I've seen a few cosplay versions of the Iron Man suit.
There was a great one at
there was fantastic
on this last just gone.
And I think before this film came out, people would have gone, Iron Man, I don't give a damn. And now 10 years later, he's the biggest star in the MCU.
Yeah, he is sort of the main character-ish, isn't he?
And obviously, it's just an amazing job that Marvel Studios has done to make all these characters which weren't exactly the A tier. I don't know if Captain America perhaps was more of an A tier than some of the others, but like Iron Man and then Thor, we'll probably get into later on. How those characters, they've managed to do such a fantastic job making them into A tier characters, replacing like Spider-Man and X-Men and Fantastic Four.
I want to know what they're going to do, because you hear the rumors and stuff that Robert Downey Jr. wants to give up the role at some point. I want to know what they're going to do to replace him.
I think it'd be quite a difficult job because
I wonder who they're going to bring in, because there are a few people that have filled the role while in the comics.
Well, I wonder if they would actually. I think it'd be quite difficult to have someone else as Tony Stark. Maybe have to be someone else.
It's not going to be someone as Tony Stark. It's just going to be someone else as Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
Someone else filling the role of Iron Man. They're going to have Tony Stark step down and someone else take up the mantle.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Yeah, they'll have quite a few people probably change hands with this one. But also interesting with this, I noticed it was actually distributed by Paramount Pictures. It says on the Wikipedia page. I can say now everything's all owned by Disney now. There's all different now because Hulk was Universal.
Yeah.
So since these first few films seem to have different branding compared to more recent, which is obviously Marvel/Disney. It's just so many changes since 10 years ago. It's fantastic. I think I missed Stan Lee's cameo in this when I rewatched it. Do you recall where his cameo was?
I'm pretty sure in the first film, it's doesn't he get mistaken for Hugh Hefner?
Oh yeah, and the party scene in the center, in the middle of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I was looking at his
Yeah, no, it is. It is the one I think it is. I just googled it.
oh yeah, okay.
He gets mistaken for Hugh Hefner while he's walking down the red carpet.
Oh, okay. But I was looking at his house that they got on Malibu in California. And
Yeah,
that's a classic billionaire's house.
that is a beautiful house,
Yeah,
though.
it's like
So sad when it gets blown up in the third one.
yes. Oh, what a waste. But yeah, it's I think well the Ironmonger and I think there was in terms of like I think the villain was great in this film. Um, Robert Downey Jr.'s performance was essentially I would say because he was sort of a bit of a almost like a loose cannon actor, wasn't he? Wasn't they weren't sure where to put him in roles. But
Yeah,
this sort of role put him
this
back on the main stage.
yeah. I think it works so much is because Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark.
Yeah, this film is just
Like,
so many good performances throughout. It's just
yeah,
they just did a fantastic job straight away, and from then on, Marvel Studios have done a great job. Pretty much every single film. There's a few films which are
oh yeah,
not fantastic, but like were good at their worst probably.
yeah. Even the bad films are watchable. Well, not bad. Even the lower Marvel films are still watchable,
Oh yeah.
which is more than you can say for the DC ones.
Oh yeah. DC. Well, just imagine. I think this is the same sort of time they released the Dark Knight or the Dark Knight Rises, one of the two. So think about
You see, the Batman trilogy
yeah,
is like DC's best work.
yeah. And if anything, they were finishing off their trilogy, just as a Marvel were launching their their Leviathan of a series,
Yeah,
just all encompassing.
it's so amazing that they managed to plan this out so far in advance.
Yeah,
They were
it's
like, okay,
10 years.
we're
10
going to
years.
plan for the we're going to plan for the eventuality that these films take off and that we can start doing the Avengers. Like, you can tell it wasn't their goal right from the beginning, but it was like they were laying the groundwork just in case.
Oh yeah, because
And
obviously
they
they
had
didn't.
that groundwork there for when the films got popular, so that they could then go, boom, Avengers.
Yeah, because if the film didn't quite work out, they could have gone, oh well, it was an experiment, didn't work out.
Yeah.
They can move on.
And the films on their own were still watchable, they're still good.
Oh yeah. But
Unlike Justice League.
but I mean, in terms of the Phase 1 films, which do you think Iron Man is probably the best one?
What was...
Phase 1 is
I'll have to
Iron Man,
Google.
Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, 4, Captain America the First Avenger, and The Avengers.
Ooh. No, I think Avengers is the best
Okay.
in Phase 1.
So I think I probably agree with that, but I'd say Iron Man is probably in the top 5
Iron
overall.
Man's second, in my opinion. Like, it's second in Phase 1.
Yeah, I'd probably have to rethink what my top. I know my top one is Winter Soldier, but in terms of because when we finish the series, we'll go back and decide what's our list of Marvel films. I think it's 1 to 17. If we include Infinity War.
You wanted to do a full list.
Yeah, once not right now, but when we get to the very end.
I know.
We'll and we'll obviously when we've finished Phase 1, we'll do a ranking of Phase 1. So that'll make a start of it. So is there anything else to say about the first Iron Man?
I find Iron Man, the first one, it's one of those films that it doesn't matter how many times I've seen it, I can just stick it on and watch it. Like, I used to watch the first Iron Man film so much that even though I haven't seen the film for a few months now, I could probably still, like, scene by scene go through it with you if you like. If that was the sort of thing we were doing. Because I've watched it that many times, it's just in my head forever now.
Yeah. I've said it again.
I used to watch it to fall asleep to.
Yeah, it's just one of these films I'm just going back and watching it, guys. just surprised by just how good it was again. It's
Yeah.
And to think, like
Well,
I said, 10 years in the making.
Yeah, but like I said before, I think it works the most is because Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., same person.
Yes. Probably have other characters, perhaps slightly different going forward, because we'll have we've got two Incredible Hulks.
Yeah.
So we'll see it. Yeah. So I think.
Yeah. Hulk doesn't really get good until Avengers.
Yeah, that's probably fair enough. Right, so I think that'll do it for a little chat on Iron Man. I'll be back with the Incredible Hulk shortly. But thank you.
I won't be joining for that.
Yeah, Jacob's not joining for that one. I'll see if it's probably be on myself. Then Jacob probably join for Iron Man 2. When he record it. So if you enjoy this little chat about Iron Man, please subscribe. We've got Star Trek next week, so that's upcoming. So thank you for your time, and hope to hear from you soon. Goodbye.
Yeah. Ta-ra!